Well, good morning, everybody. This is a beautiful Monday morning here in Rockport, Texas. I'm with you down in the estuary, right straight down from our new house. Beautiful, beautiful morning. I hope you'll enjoy this morning as we share the blessings of the Lord and continue with the idea of knowledge and discipline. Knowledge and discipline. The knowledge I want to share and the discipline we can hear that the Lord has for us come for our good. So I hope you'll stay tuned to I'm Going Fishing 21-3 as we cast to the right side and hear what the Lord would have for us to bring in a great blessing. Just as Jesus told his fishing disciples as they were out, they said, I'm going fishing. They went out, they didn't catch anything. Now think about it. They had the knowledge. They understood what it was to go out and catch fish. But in a sense, they had been disciplined because they weren't really doing what the Lord asked them to do. But when the Lord came on the scene, he said, guys, listen to me. I'm going to give you godly wisdom. Cast to that right side. And they brought in a great harvest. That's what I want for you. I want you to bring in a great harvest of blessings in your life by maintaining relationship where you will gain the knowledge of God on a daily basis. So let's get started. Well, here we are. I've got my sunglasses on because I'm facing right into the sun. It's a beautiful day. And we're going to do something a little bit different. I think I've wanted to do this for a while, but we're going to share, because of the message I did last night, Searching for Wisdom, we're going to share the knowledge, the thoughts of King Solomon. And we're going to do it on a daily basis. And we're going to start here in chapter 16. Okay. Now, in my Bible, it talks about the contrast of the upright and the wicked. We could say a contrast between those who have knowledge and those that are, as we talked about yesterday, foolish or fools. So let's look at that from that aspect as we go through several other verses, and we'll just start here in verse 1. The plans and reflections of the heart belong to a man. That's you and me. That's you and me. They belong to us. But the wise answer of the tongue is from the Lord. Knowledge. As we speak, a wise answer comes from us because we've gained knowledge. We've gained knowledge. All the ways of man are clean and innocent in his own eyes, and he may see nothing wrong with his actions. I've been there. Absolutely. I'm sure that if you're listening to this and paying attention, you've been there too. You thought whatever you were doing, that was exactly the right thing to do. And you know what? You're responsible. I was responsible. But the Lord weighs and examines the motives and the intents of the heart and knows the truth. He knows the whole thing. He made us. He knows what we're made of. He knows that it's easy for us to slip away and to be deceived if we're not careful. Go back to the Garden of Eden. That's exactly what happened. Adam and Eve would walk with God in the garden. And then came in Sneaky Snake and began walking and talking to Eve. We can't comprehend it all. But it would be just like somebody just walking beside you, just putting deceptive ideas in your mind. And you know what? That walking beside you is right in your cell phone. You pick it up, you can use it for good things. Communication, sharing of good things, etc. But you can sure pick up a lot of deception. A lot of deception. And that's why so many people that want to deceive us in so many different ways have access to us through our cell phones. And it will continue, I'll put it this way, to get even more dangerous as the world of artificial intelligence takes over and becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. Now, commit. That means to do something. To take what you have, commit your works to the Lord. Submit yourself. Submit yourself and trust Him to give you the knowledge that you need day by day. Day by day. And this is what happens. This is what happens. When you commit yourself to the Lord, He says this, and your plans will succeed if you respond to His will and guidance. That's what we need to consider. If we're going to succeed, God has a plan for our success, and we have to walk with Him and be ready to acknowledge that He's got a plan for you and me that is far beyond what we can imagine. Far beyond what we can imagine. And I'm going to stop right here in verse number, looks like 5, or 4 and 5. The Lord has made everything for His own purpose. In other words, when you were born, and as you live today, God had a purpose. God has a purpose for your life. I was talking to a young girl last night as I was out eating my dinner here in Rockport at my favorite place, Whataburger. And I was a very nice young girl. And I asked her, I said, well, what plans do you have outside of working at Whataburger? And as we talked, she had no purpose. In her own mind, she had no purpose. She didn't see herself really doing anything, going to school, getting another job perhaps. But you know what? I'll have an opportunity to talk with her and to share with her, because I said we're moving here. We're going to be here. This is one of my favorite restaurants. And I said, we'll get together again. She said, oh, that would be good. That would be good. So let me share with her God's purpose for her life. I said, you know, and I don't know if she's a Christian. I didn't ask that. I didn't assume that, but I did say this. If you're having a challenge in finding out what you want to do, you can ask God. You know, she looked at me and she just smiled. And I think that she understood exactly what I'm saying, that God has a purpose. You can ask him. Consider this, even the wicked, according to their role of how about that? The wicked have a role for the day of evil. Everyone who is proud and arrogant in heart is disgusting and exceedingly offensive to the Lord. Look at a lot of the stuff that's going on in America. I'll just say around the world. There is a lot of stuff going on. Particularly right now when it comes to Israel. Particularly right now in America when we can see the rapid changes that are taking place in trying to do away with our historical governmental system and changing it over to systems that have proven over time they don't work, only because we have many, many people who have been deceived and have listened to the wrong people for their guidance. They have not come to the Lord and gained a biblical world view. Because when you have a biblical world view, you're tuned in to what God says for you, for me, and what his plans are for the totality of all the nations. And I'll close out with verse 6. By mercy and loving kindness and truth, not supernatural, superficial ritual, wickedness is cleansed from the heart, and by the fear of the Lord one avoids evil. I'm going to transition that a little bit from the standpoint of talking about what we did yesterday of being foolish and stupid. That's what Solomon said, stupid. Let me rephrase this. By mercy and loving kindness and truth, stupidity is cleansed from the heart and the mind. And by the fear of the Lord, one avoids deception and increased levels of stupidity. Lord, I just say thank you for the opportunity to come and share. At this time in my life, you've asked me to come and share. You've given me a new place of residence. There's no doubt in my mind that this is where you've called me for my last days, and I will be here until you call me home, and I will share your word every day. So I'm saying, Lord, thank you for the opportunity that you've given me, because I know what it's like to be stupid. I know what it's like also to be blessed by applying your knowledge. And Lord, I want this for everyone who tunes in to this channel. Whether we call it I'm Going Fishing 21-3, Cast to the Right Side, More Than Enough, it's all yours and dedicated to you and to seeing people come to you where they know for a fact that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, and the only way to come to the Father. That's the knowledge that I'm passing on, because it is the wisdom and the truth of God. Lord, don't let people be stupid. Let them come to you and be blessed. And I thank you for it all now, in Jesus' name.